Hi, I'm Brennan from Slack. I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about how we leverage Slack as a platform for our DevOps activities. Please come along to our Slack channel after the session for a Q&A. But let's dive in. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about me. I've led development teams, operations teams, and even IT teams. I'm a big proponent of DevOps. I think it brings together two very important and different skill sets. I think we build better software together. I started my career out, my technical career out at B&Z. It was surprisingly modern for a 150-year-old bank. It was where I had my first introduction to Agile, DevOps, test-driven development, and Lean. I got to work on some very sexy features like foreign exchange and digitizing and modernizing a bank. From there, I moved to Spotify, and because of my interest in Agile, it was very like going to church. It was quite a ride at Spotify. I really thoroughly enjoyed my time there. But we decided to move back home to Ireland to be closer to family. When I was looking around for somewhere to go to, Slack was obviously a standout candidate for me. I'm really passionate about communication and collaboration, so it was something that resonated with me on a personal level. I've been really excited to see Slack grow, especially in the recent months, and be part of a tool that's literally helping people stay connected in times like this. So it's a very inspiring and personal connection that I feel I have for Slack. So what are we going to talk about today? On the agenda we have, and I will just move my mouse. On the agenda we have a quick intro to Slack for those of you who don't know our history. And then we're going to look back at how DevOps emerged at Slack. We're going to talk about some of the challenges that modern software teams face. And we're going to show you some examples of how Slack innovates to actually address those kinds of challenges. So what is Slack? For those of you that are not familiar, Slack started out as a video game called Glitch. So it's not my current day job. I kind of wish it was. This is a screenshot from the game called Glitch. It was created by our founders and the same founders who created Flickr, which was an early photo sharing platform back in the early 2000s. Unfortunately for Glitch and its small but loyal fan base, the game never really had broad appeal. And so they decided to shut it down. But when they explained the situation to their investors, they asked if there was anything else that they thought they could take to market. The team had developed an app to encourage communication and collaboration. And they really felt that they couldn't work without this app, and maybe that this was something that other people would enjoy also. So Slack back then was all about persistent chats. It had a few integrations, like you can see the Google Calendar integration right there. But the user experience was really clean, and it was something that everybody really enjoyed. Anyone who interacted with it really enjoyed the user experience. Fast forward to today, since 2003, we've now over 12 million daily active users, and over half of them are outside the US. Collectively, those users send 1 billion messages a week, and last year we reached a significant milestone by going public. There's no doubt we benefited from a great product market fit at the time. So let's jump into our DevOps story. So we've observed, at least, that systems are becoming more and more complex. Teams have had to change to keep up. Since the early days, DevOps has become a standard way of working, but also a competitive advantage. Operators write code, developers write config, and need to understand how the system works under the hood. The world continues to move faster and get more complex. And the result of this can really be overwhelming if you're not in front of it. DevOps is about leveraging people with broad system knowledge around a particular change or problem. We've approached it from the perspective of service ownership and tooling, and I'll talk about both in turn. So when we talk about service ownership, we talk about it from a perspective that teams own their end-to-end customer experience. So we do that through faster tooling in Slack. This is a mindset and a culture we've fostered, and it's very much a journey. It's not complete. When we first launched the idea of service ownership, it was quite scary for development teams, and it's been something that we've actually had to work on a lot and offer more and more tooling. We do believe it's true to our legacy of not creating silos and customer handoffs. But as we've evolved, it has become harder. Slack is harder to navigate. There's fewer people in the organization who actually understand how the full system works end to end. And we've needed to help developers feel successful and safe. And for us, tooling is the key. So these tools make all the difference. We've built tools to support developers to manage deploys, logging, alerting, escalations, and support. We also have an embedded SRE model, which is helping us grow broader skills in teams. But assuming this ownership is not free, we don't just shift the work from one team to another. There's an emphasis on preparation and support. And the goal is to reduce the burden, but still empower responsibility through visibility. So we believe incident response works best when we have both the system and the developers responding together. We have provided tooling so that developers don't have to understand how Prometheus or Terraform works. What we want is to make the developer experience efficient and joyful. So what do we mean by service ownership? Well, like I've already said, we're talking about the teams being responsible for managing their customer experience end to end. This means managing their monitoring and delivering their software to users in production. But it also means after that, that they've got service health instrumentation around service level objectives, that they've got good monitoring and alerting for rapid response when there is a problem. We also have production readiness reviews and deployment risk assessments to make sure that when we're putting a major new feature into production, that people have taken the time and energy to make sure that it's not going to